Imagine this, a man steps off a plane, his jaw set, his mission clear: stop a wedding before the vows are spoken. He's got one day, one chance, to change everything. But what if, in the middle of this high-stakes drama, he stumbles into something he never saw coming? The love of his life. Sounds like a movie, right? But this is real, raw, and full of twists that'll keep you glued to your screen. Welcome to my channel, where we dive into stories that make your heart race and your mind spin. Today, I'm telling you a tale of love, betrayal, and destiny that's been blowing up on YouTube searches. Because who doesn't want to know what happens when a wedding crasher meets his match? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how this guy's plan to cancel a wedding turned his entire world upside down. And trust me, you're not gonna want to miss a single second. Let's set the stage. Picture a sunny afternoon in a small picture-perfect town in California. Think white picket fences, blooming roses, and a church decked out for the wedding of the year. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and secrets don't stay secret for long. Our guy, let's call him Jake, isn't from here. He's a city boy, all sharp edges and restless energy, flying in from New York with a one-way ticket and a fire in his chest. Why's he so hell-bent on stopping this wedding? Well, that's the mystery we're gonna unravel together. Maybe it's an old promise, a buried regret, or a truth no one else knows. Whatever it is, Jake's not here to play nice. He's got a plan, and he's ready to stir up trouble. But here's the thing about plans. They have a way of falling apart when you least expect it. And for Jake, that moment comes when he locks eyes with someone who makes his heart skip a beat. Not the bride, not the groom, but someone else entirely. Someone who's about to turn his mission into a mess of emotions he didn't sign up for. You're probably wondering who she is, right? Don't worry, I'm gonna get there, but you've gotta stay with me, because this story's got layers, and I'm peeling them back one by one. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've seen a million love stories on YouTube. Boy meets girl, drama ensues, happily ever after. But this isn't that. This is messy, unpredictable, and so human it hurts. Jake's not some perfect hero. He's flawed, stubborn, and maybe a little too cocky for his own good. He's the guy who thinks he's got it all figured out until life throws him a curveball. And that curveball? It's not just the woman who's about to steal his heart. It's the whole damn town, the secrets they're hiding, and the choices Jake's gonna have to make. Will he stick to his guns and stop the wedding? Or will he let this unexpected spark change everything? That's the question that's gonna keep you hooked, and I promise you, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. By the time we're done, you'll know every twist, every turn, and every heart-pounding moment that leads to the answer. But to get there, you've gotta trust me and keep watching, because this story's got more surprises than a viral TikTok trend. Let's talk about why this hits so hard. You've probably been in a moment where you thought you knew exactly what you wanted. Maybe a job, a relationship, a dream. Only to have something or someone come along and make you question everything. That's what Jake's going through, and it's why you're gonna root for him, even when he's making mistakes. We've all been there, chasing one thing and tripping into something else entirely. That's what makes this story so relatable, so binge-worthy. It's not just about a wedding or a love story. It's about what happens when you're forced to choose between what you thought you wanted and what you're starting to realize you need. And let me tell you, Jake's journey is packed with those viral, shareable moments that make you want to hit that like button and tell your friends, you gotta watch this. From heated arguments in the middle of a flower shop to stolen glances at a crowded rehearsal dinner, every scene is crafted to pull you in and keep you invested. You're not just watching a story, you're living it with Jake, feeling every high and low. Now, let's meet the players in this drama, but I'm not gonna spill too much just yet. There's Jake, of course, 32, charming but guarded, with a smile that hides a lot of pain. Then there's the bride, Emily, who seems like the perfect girl next door, but there's something in her eyes that says she's not telling the whole story. The groom, Matt, is all charisma and confidence, but is he really the right guy for Emily, or is Jake onto something? And then there's her, the mystery woman who's about to flip Jake's world upside down. I'm not giving you her name yet, because that's part of the fun. All you need to know is she's bold, she's fearless, and she's got a way of seeing right through Jake's tough guy act. These four are at the heart of our story, and the way their lives collide is gonna have you on the edge of your seat. Add in a cast of quirky townsfolk, think nosy neighbors, a sassy florist, and a bartender who knows way too much, and you've got a recipe for drama that's trending for all the right reasons. I want to take a second to connect with you, because this isn't just me talking at you. It's us sharing this wild ride together. You clicked on this video because you love a good story, right? You're here for the romance, the suspense, the moments that make you gasp and say, "No way!" I get it, because I'm the same way. I'm obsessed with stories that make you feel something, and I've poured my heart into making sure this one delivers. So here's my promise to you. Keep watching, and I'll give you every juicy detail, every emotional payoff, every answer to the questions burning in your mind. Why's Jake so determined to stop this wedding? Who's the woman who's changing everything? And what's the secret this town's hiding? You're gonna get it all, but you've gotta stick with me to the end. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's dive into this together. Because this is the kind of story that's made for late-night binges and group chats blowing up with reactions. Let's talk about the vibe of this story, because it's got everything you're searching for on YouTube right now. Romance, drama, and a touch of mystery that's perfect for 2025's trending topics. The tone is warm but intense, like a summer day that's about to turn into a thunderstorm. You'll feel the tension building as Jake navigates this tight-knit town, where every smile hides a secret and every choice has consequences. The atmosphere is alive with details, the scent of jasmine in the air, the hum of cicadas, the glow of fairy lights at the wedding venue. It's the kind of setting that pulls you in and makes you feel like you're right there, watching it all unfold. And the conflict? It's not just Jake versus the wedding. It's Jake versus himself, his past, and the future he never imagined. That's what makes this story so gripping. You're not just watching to see if he stops the wedding. You're watching to see if he can find his way to something real, something lasting. As we wrap up this intro, I want you to feel that itch, that need to know what happens next. Picture Jake standing outside the church, the clock ticking down to the ceremony. He's got a choice to make. Barge in and cause chaos, or walk away and let the past stay buried. But before he can decide, she steps into view, her eyes locking onto his like she knows exactly what he's thinking. One look, and he's not so sure of anything anymore. What's her deal? Why does she matter so much so fast? And what's the real reason Jake's here, risking it all for a wedding that's not even his? You're dying to know, aren't you? Good. Because that's where we're headed next, and I'm not holding back. Keep watching, because the truth is about to come out, and it's gonna hit harder than you think. Right there, outside that little white church with its steeple piercing the California sky, Jake feels the weight of the moment pressing down on him. The sun's dipping low, casting long shadows across the gravel path, and the faint sound of laughter spills out from the rehearsal dinner inside. He's got maybe an hour before the wedding rehearsal wraps up, and tomorrow, Emily and Matt will be saying their "I dose," unless he does something drastic. But that look from her, let's call her Sarah for now, though Jake doesn't know her name yet, has him frozen. Her eyes, sharp and knowing, cut through his resolve like a knife through butter. She's leaning against a wooden fence, her sundress catching the breeze, and there's something about her that feels like trouble and salvation all at once. Jake's here to stop a wedding, to right a wrong he's carried like a stone in his chest for years, but Sarah's presence is a wild card he didn't plan for. You're probably wondering what's driving Jake, why he's willing to risk looking like a fool, or worse, in front of a town full of strangers. Let's pull back the curtain just a bit, but not too far, because this story's got more secrets than a viral YouTube mystery, and I'm not about to spoil the fun yet. Stick with me, because we're diving deeper into Jake's past, Sarah's unexpected role, and a town that's hiding more than it lets on. Jake's story starts 5 years ago in New York, back when he was a different guy. Less guarded, more open to the world. He and Emily were inseparable, the kind of couple everyone envied. They met in college, bonded over late-night pizza and dreams of changing the world. Emily was the dreamer, always sketching out plans for a life full of adventure, while Jake was the realist, grounding her with his quiet strength. They were engaged, ring and all, until something broke. Something Jake still can't talk about without his voice catching. Was it betrayal? A misunderstanding? Or something darker? Whatever it was, Emily left, and Jake stayed behind, piecing himself back together. Now, years later, he gets word she's marrying Matt, a guy Jake's never met but instinctively distrusts. The news hits like a punch, and before he knows it, he's on a plane, driven by a mix of anger, guilt, and a nagging feeling that Emily's making a mistake. But here's where it gets murky. Jake's not sure if he's here to save her or to finally let her go. That's the tension eating at him as he stands outside the church, and it's why Sarah's sudden appearance feels like a cosmic joke. You're probably itching to know what went down between Jake and Emily, right? I'll give you more, but you've got to keep watching, because this drama's just getting started. Now, let's talk about Sarah, because she's not just some random bystander. She's got her own reasons for being at this wedding, and they're tangled up in ways Jake can't even begin to guess. Sarah's a local born and raised in this tight-knit town where everyone's got a story and a side to pick. She's got a reputation for being fiercely independent, the kind of woman who says what she thinks and doesn't care who's listening. But there's a softness to her too, a warmth that draws people in, even when she's trying to keep them at arm's length. Sarah's not here for the wedding. She's here because of Matt, the groom. Not romantically, mind you, but because of a promise she made a long time ago, one that's pulling her back into a past she'd rather forget. What's her connection to Matt? Is she protecting him, or is she here to expose something? That's another layer of this mystery, and it's gonna keep you hooked like a trending YouTube cliffhanger. When she spots Jake, she senses he's trouble. Not because he's loud or obvious, but because he's got that look in his eyes, the kind that says he's carrying a storm inside him. Their brief exchange, nothing more than a glance and a half smile, sets off sparks, but it also raises questions. Why does Sarah care what Jake's up to? And why does she feel like she's seen him before? Meanwhile, the town itself is a character in this drama, buzzing with its own secrets and subplots. Take the bartender Clara, who's been pouring drinks at the local pub for 20 years and knows more about this wedding than she's letting on. She's got a knack for eavesdropping, and she's heard whispers about Emily's sudden return to town after years away. Clara's not one to gossip outright, but she drops hints to Jake when he stops by for a drink, her eyes glinting with mischief. Then there's the florist Miguel, who's been acting strange ever since he got the order for the wedding's roses. He's jumpy, distracted, like he's waiting for something to go wrong. Are these just small-town quirks, or is there a bigger secret tying everyone together? The town's got a history of covering things up. Old scandals, broken promises, and deals made in the shadows. Jake's starting to sense it, and it's making him question whether his mission to stop the wedding is about Emily or something else entirely. You're probably feeling that itch to know more, aren't you? That's what makes this story so binge-worthy. It's not just one mystery, but a web of them, each one pulling you deeper into the drama. Let's shift to Emily for a moment, because she's not just the bride in this story. She's a woman wrestling with her own doubts. From the outside, she's got it all. The perfect dress, the charming groom, the fairy tale wedding. But late at night, when the town's quiet and Matt's asleep, Emily stares at the ceiling, wondering if she's running towards something or away from it. She hasn't told anyone, not even her best friend, about the letter she got a month ago. A letter that shook her to her core and made her question everything. Who sent it? What did it say? That's another piece of the puzzle, and it's why Emily's not as radiant as a bride should be. When she hears Jake's in town, her heart skips, but not for the reasons you might think. It's not love or longing, it's fear, mixed with a strange kind of relief. Does she want him to stop the wedding, or is she terrified he will? Emily's perspective adds a whole new layer to this story, and it's gonna have you second-guessing everything you thought you knew. You're invested now, right? You're wondering how all these pieces, Jake's mission, Sarah's secrets, Emily's doubts, fit together. Keep watching, because I'm not letting you off the hook yet. Back to Jake, standing outside the church, the weight of Sarah's gaze still lingering. He's starting to realize this isn't just about crashing a wedding. It's about facing the parts of himself he's been running from. Every step he takes in this town pulls him deeper into a mess of emotions he wasn't ready for. Sarah's not helping, either. She's everywhere, bumping into him at the coffee shop, catching his eye across the street, always with that half-smile that says she knows more than she's saying. Their conversations are short, sharp, like two people circling each other in a dance they don't fully understand. She teases him about being a city boy, but there's an edge to her words, like she's testing him. Jake's drawn to her, no question, but he's also suspicious. Is she trying to distract him from his goal, or is she the key to understanding why he's really here? The chemistry between them is electric, the kind of slow-burn romance that's trending hard on YouTube right now, but it's complicated by the bigger picture. Jake's got a job to do, and every minute he spends thinking about Sarah is a minute he's not focused on Emily or Matt or the wedding that's barreling toward him like a freight train. As the rehearsal dinner winds down and the guests spill out into the evening air, Jake's running out of time. He's got to make a move, confront Emily, talk to Matt, or dig into whatever Sarah's hiding. But the town's closing in too. Clara's watching him from the pub window, Miguel's fidgeting with his flower arrangements, and even the kids playing in the street seem to know something's up. The air's thick with tension, like the calm before a storm. Jake's starting to wonder if he's the only one who wants this wedding stopped, or if someone else is pulling strings behind the scenes. Was that letter Emily got connected to him, or is there another player in this game? And what about Sarah's promise to Matt? What's she holding on to that's got her so tied to this moment? You're on the edge of your seat now, aren't you? You can feel the stakes rising, the questions piling up. That's why you've got to keep watching, because just when you think you've got this story figured out, it's about to twist in a way you never saw coming. What's Jake's next move, and who's going to be there when he makes it? The night air is thick with the scent of jasmine and the hum of anticipation as Jake watches the last of the rehearsal dinner guests spill out of the church hall, their laughter fading into the distance. His heart's pounding, not just from the ticking clock but from the way Sarah's presence lingers in his mind, like a song he can't shake. He's supposed to be focused, confront Emily, expose whatever's off about Matt, stop this wedding before it's too late, but Sarah's got him second-guessing everything. And now, as he's steeling himself to slip inside and find Emily, something happens that flips the script entirely. Clara, the bartender, steps out of the shadows, her usual smirk gone, replaced by a look of urgency. She grabs Jake's arm and whispers, "You're not the only one who wants this wedding stopped, but you're poking a hornet's nest you don't understand." Before he can ask what she means, she presses a crumpled note into his hand and vanishes back into the night. The note's handwriting is shaky, and the words hit like a thunderbolt. "Emily's not who you think she is. Meet me at the old mill at midnight." No signature, no clue who it's from, but it's enough to make Jake's blood run cold. Who else is out to derail this wedding? And why does it feel like the whole town's in on it? You're probably as shocked as Jake right now, aren't you? This twist is about to take our story to a whole new level, and you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Keep watching, because this drama's trending for a reason, and we're diving straight into the heart of it. Jake's head is spinning as he stuffs the note into his pocket, his mission to stop the wedding now tangled with a bigger, darker mystery. He came here thinking he knew the score. Emily's making a mistake, Matt's not right for her, and he's the guy to fix it. But Clara's warning and this anonymous note suggest there's more at play, something that goes beyond his personal history with Emily. Is she in danger, or is she hiding something herself? The old mill at midnight is a risky move. It's on the edge of town, abandoned for years, the kind of place where secrets get buried. But Jake's not the type to back down, even if his gut's screaming that he's walking into a trap. As he heads toward the church to catch Emily before she leaves, he spots Sarah across the street, talking to Miguel, the jittery florist. Their conversation looks heated, heads close together, and when Sarah glances Jake's way, her expression is unreadable. Is she part of this, whatever this is? The chemistry between them is undeniable, but now Jake's wondering if she's playing him, distracting him while the real game unfolds. You're feeling that suspense building, right? That's what makes this story so binge-worthy, the kind of viral YouTube drama that keeps you clicking next video, because you need answers. Stick with me, because we're about to peel back another layer of this small-town conspiracy. Let's zoom in on Emily for a moment, because her world's starting to crack, and it's adding fuel to this already explosive plot. She's in the church hall, smiling for the guests, but her hands are trembling as she adjusts her bracelet, a gift from Matt, or so she says. The truth is, that bracelet belonged to someone else, someone tied to the letter she got a month ago, the one she's kept hidden in her purse like a ticking bomb. The letter wasn't just a warning, it was a plea, written in a hand she recognized but couldn't place, begging her to call off the wedding. She hasn't told Matt, hasn't told anyone, because admitting it would mean facing a past she's worked hard to bury. When she hears Jake's in town, it's like the letters come to life, and now she's caught between fear and a strange hope that maybe he's here to pull her out of this mess. But what mess? Is it Matt, the wedding, or something deeper, something tied to the town's history? Emily's not sure, but when she steps outside and sees Jake lingering near the church, her breath catches. She wants to run to him to demand answers, but Matt's right behind her, his hand on her shoulder, his smile just a little too tight. You're probably wondering what Emily's hiding, aren't you? That's the hook that's going to keep you glued to this story, because her secrets are about to collide with Jake's mission in ways no one saw coming. Meanwhile, Sarah's subplot is thickening, and it's adding a whole new dimension to this drama. She's not just a local with a chip on her shoulder. She's got a history with Matt that goes back to their teenage years, a promise she made when they were kids that's now pulling her into this wedding like a riptide. It wasn't a romantic thing, but it was deep, the kind of bond forged in shared pain. Matt's changed since then, polished and confident, but Sarah's not so sure he's as perfect as he seems. She's been watching him, noticing little things, how he deflects questions about his past, How he's too quick to charm the townsfolk. When she sees Jake, she senses he's a threat to whatever Matt's built here, but she's also drawn to him, to the raw honesty in his eyes. Their heated exchange with Miguel was about more than flowers. Miguel let slip that he saw Matt meeting someone at the old mill a week ago, someone who wasn't Emily. Sarah's trying to piece it together, but she's also wrestling with her own loyalties. Does she warn Jake, or does she protect Matt, honoring a promise that's starting to feel like a mistake? This subplot's got that slow burn intensity that's blowing up on YouTube right now, and it's gonna have you rooting for Sarah even as you question her motives. The town itself is practically a pressure cooker now, every glance and whisper adding to the tension. Clara's back at the pub, pouring drinks but keeping one eye on the door, like she's expecting trouble. Miguel's rearranging roses for the 10th time, muttering to himself about bad omens. Even the kids on the street have stopped playing, their eyes wide as they watch Jake head toward the church. The note in his pocket feels heavier with every step, and when he finally spots Emily, he's ready to demand answers. About her, about Matt, about why he's here. But before he can reach her, Matt steps in, his smile all teeth, and says, "Jake, right? Heard you were in town. Let's talk." It's not a request, and the way Matt's standing shoulders squared makes it clear he's not just the happy groom. There's something territorial, almost threatening, in his tone, and Jake's instincts kick into overdrive. Is Matt onto him, or is this about something else entirely? The unexpected twist of the note, combined with Matt's sudden confrontation, has Jake, and you, reeling. You're dying to know what's in that note, who wrote it, and what Matt's hiding, aren't you? That's why you've got to keep watching, because this story's about to explode. As Jake follows Matt to a quiet corner of the churchyard, the old mill looms in his mind, a midnight rendezvous that could change everything. Sarah's watching from a distance, her heart racing as she debates whether to follow. Emily's frozen, caught between the man she's supposed to marry and the one who's just walked back into her life. And somewhere, out there in the dark, the person who wrote that note is waiting, ready to blow this wedding, and this town wide open. The stakes are higher than ever, and the questions are piling up faster than likes on a viral YouTube video. Who's telling the truth? What's Emily running from? And what's at the old mill that's got everyone on edge? You're invested now, feeling every twist and turn like it's happening to you. Don't stop here because the next part's gonna hit harder than you can imagine, and the answers are closer than you think. The churchyard is quiet, save for the rustle of leaves and the distant hum of cicadas, as Jake faces Matt, the man whose wedding he's here to stop. Matt's smile is gone, replaced by a steely gaze that makes Jake's skin prickle. The note in his pocket burns, its cryptic warning, "Emily's not who you think she is," looping in his mind. Matt's voice is low, controlled as he says, "You think you know her, don't you? You think you're here to save her." There's a challenge in his words, but also something else. Fear, maybe, or guilt. Jake's ready to fire back, to demand answers about Emily, about the wedding, about why this town feels like it's holding its breath. But before he can, Sarah appears, her footsteps crunching on the gravel, her eyes darting between the two men. "This isn't the place," she says, her voice sharp but shaky, like she's trying to stop a train that's already off the tracks. Jake's torn. Does he confront Matt now, or follow the note's instructions and head to the old mill? The tension's electric, the kind of moment that makes a YouTube story go viral, and you're probably on the edge of your seat, wondering how this showdown's gonna play out. Stick with me, because we're barreling toward a climax that'll answer every question, tie up every loose end, and leave you stunned with a twist you never saw coming. Jake's instincts scream to follow the note, so he brushes past Matt, ignoring the man's warning to stay out of it. Sarah follows, her presence both a comfort and a complication. As they head toward the old mill, the town seems to close in around them. Clara's watching from the pub, Miguel's arranging flowers with a grim expression, and even Emily, lingering by the church, looks like she's about to bolt. The mill's a crumbling relic, its weathered beams groaning in the night wind, and when Jake and Sarah step inside, the air's thick with dust and secrets. There, waiting in the shadows, is Clara, her usual bravado replaced by a haunted look. She's the one who wrote the note, and her story spills out like a dam breaking. Emily, she says, isn't just a bride-to-be. She's been running from a past tied to a scandal that rocked this town years ago. It wasn't just a breakup that split Jake and Emily. It was a betrayal involving Matt, who was once Emily's best friend. Matt had been in love with her too, and when Emily chose Jake, Matt spread lies that tore them apart, lies that Emily believed until it was too late. The letter Emily got? It was from Clara, who'd pieced it together and couldn't stay silent. You're probably reeling right now, aren't you? This revelation's the kind of plot twist that's trending hard on YouTube, and it's setting the stage for a showdown that's gonna change everything. The climax hits when Emily arrives at the mill, her face pale, the bracelet on her wrist glinting in the moonlight. She's heard enough from Clara to know the truth, and when she sees Jake, the years of pain and misunderstanding pour out. She thought Jake had betrayed her, based on Matt's lies, and ran to this town to start over. Matt followed, charming his way back into her life, but the letter and Jake's arrival have shattered her illusions. Matt shows up too, his charm replaced by desperation as he tries to spin a new story, but Emily's done listening. The confrontation is raw, emotional. Jake and Emily finally lay bare their regrets, their love, their mistakes, while Sarah stands by, her own heart breaking as she realizes her promise to Matt was built on a lie. In a moment of clarity, Jake steps back, telling Emily he didn't come to stop her wedding for himself, but to give her the truth so she could choose her own path. Emily, tears streaming, takes off the bracelet and hands it to Matt, ending their engagement with a quiet, "I deserve better." It's a resolution that feels earned, the kind of emotional payoff that makes a YouTube story unforgettable, but we're not done yet. There's one final twist that's gonna leave you speechless. As the group disperses, the wedding cancelled, and the town buzzing with the fallout, Sarah pulls Jake aside. Her eyes are soft now, vulnerable, and she confesses something that flips the entire story on its head. She's Emily's half-sister, a secret kept even from Emily until Clara's digging uncovered it. Sarah's promise to Matt was about protecting Emily, not him, because she'd always felt responsible for her sister, even from a distance. She'd been watching Jake, not to distract him, but to see if he was worthy of Emily's heart, or maybe her own. This bombshell redefines everything. Their chemistry, her motives, the way she's been caught between loyalty and love. Jake's stunned, but as he looks at Sarah, he realizes his mission to stop the wedding wasn't just about Emily. It was about finding a new beginning, one he never expected. They don't fall into each other's arms, that's too easy, but there's a spark, a promise of something real, as they walk away from the mill together. You're probably in awe right now, right? That twist's the kind of viral moment that blows up group chats and comment sections, and it's why this story's gonna stick with you long after the video ends. The subplots wrap up with a satisfying click, like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. Clara, finally free of her secret, takes a long vacation, her barstool wisdom no longer needed. Miguel, it turns out, was nervous because he'd overheard Matt's shady dealings and feared retaliation. With the truth out, he's back to arranging roses with a smile. The town, shaken by the scandal's revival, starts to heal, its gossip turning to hope for Emily's fresh start. Emily herself decides to leave, not with Jake, but on her own, to rediscover who she is without the weight of the past. As for Jake and Sarah, they're not a couple. Not yet, but their final scene, sharing a coffee at the town's diner.
Hints at a slow-burn romance that's just beginning. The key takeaway? Life's messiest moments, the ones that break you, can lead to the most unexpected beauty if you're brave enough to face them. This story's not just about love or betrayal. It's about truth, choice, and the courage to rewrite your own ending. You're feeling that, aren't you? That's why you've got to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with everyone you know. Because stories like this, raw, real, and packed with twists, are what make YouTube magic. As the screen fades, you're left with Jake and Sarah's laughter, the diner's neon sign glowing in the background, and a sense that this small town, with all its secrets, has changed them forever. The final image lingers, the old mill, standing silent under the stars, a reminder that even the darkest places can hold the light of truth. You've got your answers. Why Jake came, what Emily was hiding, who Sarah really is, but the story's impact goes deeper, stirring something in you about your own choices, your own heart. Keep this feeling, because it's what makes stories like this trend, what makes them live on in late-night binges and heartfelt comments. Thanks for watching, for sticking with me through every twist, and for being part of this journey. Now, what's next? Hit that notification bell because I've got more stories coming, and they're gonna hit just as hard.